So one thing that struck me, and I know it did a few others from the men's meeting, is Bishop said, when you're not in the right place, when you're not where you're supposed to be, it could cost you dearly. Whether that's your life, or whether that's a relationship or an investment that could have happened, whatever it may be. If you're not in the right place physically or spiritually or mentally, you lose out on opportunities, and it could cost you big time. And so just, this week I've been thinking about, and I've been trying to, correct in my own life, and just really stewing upon it is are you an influencer, or are you easily influenced? Because I know that, while being in the church, in the house of God, you're supposed to, influence the people out there who aren't around God, who don't know God, who don't know His Word. So just, I've really been trying to correct that in my own life, and I'm sure other people have, and if you haven't yet, then you definitely should, you want to be a shepherd, because at one time in your life you were sheep. That's how God calls it. He says you are a shepherd or you are sheep. And we are all called to be sheep to some and shepherds to others. So, obviously, Bishop's our shepherd here. He's the man of the house. He's the man of God in the house. But you're still supposed to be a shepherd to your loved ones around you, or your friends around you, those who you are leading to the Lord. That's what we're called to be. And, if you're around people who are in the world, Bishop says out in the elements, the outer court, where the dogs are barking. If you're out there, you really have to have your shield and your sword sharp, because people pay attention big time to what you're doing. And I think Gabriel and Bishop said one time that they, what's the three? They analyze, they equalize, and downsize. Is that it? Right. Familiarize, equalize, and downsize. So, if you are, supposed to be, a big Christian, you're supposed to be a man of God, but then someone sees you out at the bars, they go, oh, I'm out at the bars too. So first they go, oh, I see him. Okay, yeah, we know each other. And then they equalize and they say, well, if he's doing it, then I could do it. And then they downsize you. And then that's when they go, well, he's not, anything that he claims to be, or, what he is. So that's where it comes to, are you the influencer, or are you the influenced? And I have a couple scriptures too. I'm just going to rally them off, so just go ahead and write them down as I say them. But to start off, Proverbs 27:17. And like I said, you're probably not going to have time to flip to all these, so just write them down. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. That's a great one right there. Proverbs 13:20. Proverbs 13:20 says, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. That's really powerful right there. I'm going to read that one again. Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion, so the friend of fools, the companion of fools will suffer harm. That's where, they talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You might not necessarily have been doing wrong, but because someone around you is, you're guilty by association. And I know probably all of us have been, in a situation like that before. maybe not some. Maybe not our pastor. Okay. Let's see. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33. That's 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33. Says, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Are you the influencer, or are you the influenced? 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. You might have come in with the best of intentions in your situation, but if you're not sharpened up, you're not suited up, your morals could go down in the drain. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, this is a great one right here. 1 1 Peter 2. That's 1 Peter 2, verse 12. Read it one more time. 1 Peter 2, verse 12. Keep your conduct among the Gentiles honorable, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day of visitation. I'm going to read that one more time, then we'll dig into it. Keep your conduct among the Gentiles honorable, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day of visitation. That's why I said, I gave the example of, if you're out at the bars, they'll familiarize, equalize, and downsize you. If you're out, at the club, like Bishop says, shaking your booty, or it doesn't even have to be a place like that. It could be, an athletic event, a football game, a baseball game. If you're out there, acting a fool, people, they notice that. They take notice. And don't think that they won't forget it, because they remember that stuff, and they'll try and bring it up on you later when you're trying to minister to them. They think, well, you always were with us. You were always out there drinking, shaking your booty, doing this, that, the other. You had that blunt in you. Remember when we were smoking that blunt together? That kind of stuff, okay? And I'm sorry. But it's true. It's 100% true. And so I'm going to say it one more time. They'll familiarize. So you can lock this down, even put it in your notes if you have to. They will familiarize. They will familiarize. They will equalize, and they will downsize you. Exactly. So that's definitely a thing you really want to try and incorporate in your life is being the shepherd. Start your flock of sheep. Don't just blend in. Blending in is the worst thing you could do. If you're lukewarm, God will spit you out. Okay? All right, now let's go ahead and let's turn to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel, and we're in chapter 9. 1 Samuel, chapter 9. So, Deacon Frazier is not with us today, so I was called up to. He's with us. Oh, he's with us. But physically, in the spirit, he's right there. He's probably even watching. But Bishop said, give a little bit of the tithe and offering message, just a little bit, just a little taste, a little bunt. And this one is a little bit different. This one, it kind of goes more upon the giving aspect, because you're not only supposed to be a tither, you're supposed to be a giver. That's where your real blessings come in. The tithe that's your basic, that's your 30-fold. The offering is where you make yourself special. And we're not just talking about just offering out in this bucket. We're talking about offering out there, And it doesn't always have to be money either. It could be somebody hurt and they come to you, you give them a meal. You talk to them. They just went through a rough relationship breakup. You minister to them. You share, something that uplifts their spirits. Okay? You're supposed to give yourself to others. You're supposed to share what others have shared with you. So, 1 Samuel chapter 9, we're gonna start in verse 2. So this is it's talking about King Saul before he was the king, and they lost some donkeys that were in their flock, and so his father sent him out to go look with a servant. Okay, it says in verse 2, and he had a son whose name was Saul, a choice and handsome man, and there was not a more handsome person than he among the sons of Israel. From his shoulders and up, he was taller than any of the people. Right. So, just keep in mind, he's from the tribe of Benjamin, okay? He was the tallest, he was the most handsome of all the people around. There was nobody taller than him, okay? Now we're going to skip over to let's start in, let's go to verse 6. So, still in 1 Samuel 9, verse 6. This is when they're out on the search. They were sent by his father to go find the donkeys. And it says, and he said to him, behold now, there is a man of God in this city, and the man is held in honor. All that he says surely come true. Now let us go there. Perhaps he can tell us about our journey on which we have set out." Then Saul said to his servant, "But behold, if we go, what shall we bring the man? For the bread is gone from our sack, and there is no present to bring the man of God. What do we have?" So this is talking about in that day. They called them seers back then, but they're speaking of the prophets. When you went to go see a prophet, you brought the man of God something. I mean, you don't go empty-handed. And it's not that, the man of God won't see you, it's respect. He's gonna share unto you, so you share back unto him. Okay? I mean, it's no different in natural day. If you're sick and you go to the doctor, you're not going for free. He's not taking you for free. Whether you have insurance or you're paying him straight cash, you're paying him no matter what. Okay? So, I mean, if it's going to happen in the natural, why can't it happen in the spirit? Okay? So, verse 8 is where we're continuing. "And the servant answered Saul again and said, Behold, I have in my hand a fourth of a shekel of silver. I will give it to the man of God, and he will tell us our way." Okay? So, that's where it is coming to the man of God. Don't come empty-handed. Okay? There's no point in coming empty-handed, because if he's going to bless you, the least you could do is try and bless him back. And that goes for everybody. If you're going to go to somebody in the house and they're helping you with something, lend whatever you have, okay? If you don't have money, lend your hand. Help out. See what you can do, okay? Maybe you're handy at fixing stuff. Maybe they have a broken dishwasher. You could help them out. Maybe they need their lawn cut. Okay? It could be anything. We're supposed to help each other out in the church. We're not supposed to leave exactly. We're not supposed to leave each other high and dry. Okay? I mean, one person who we got to thank a lot is Justin Chishura. He always takes care of everybody when he goes when you go to any of his restaurants and you let him know beforehand, he'll take care of you. He always takes care of us. Now, Bishop says sometimes, it's not the food he wants, and sometimes I'd have to agree to, but he'll take care of us, and he'll do it with a smile, He'll take care of you. So you got to give honor to Justin, because he takes care of everybody, and that's why his businesses are booming. That's why they're taking off. Right, because he's a sharer, okay? He's a lover. He gives more than the bare minimum in all that he does. So you got to give him an honor for that. So let's see. We're going to go to, let's start in, so we're still in 1 Samuel. Now we're skipping a little bit ahead because you're about to see a great principle of God right here. We'll start in verse 19, okay? All right. 1 Samuel 9, still, verse 19. "And Samuel answered Saul and said, I am the seer. Go up before me to the high place, for you shall eat with me today, and in the morning I will let you go, and will tell you all that is on your mind." Okay? So that's Samuel bringing him in. Saul has no idea yet what's in store for him. This is about to be a huge miracle for him, but I mean it's what God sets in place in our life when we come with a humble heart. Okay, like it was said, Samuel didn't have anything. They have a quarter of a shekel of silver. I don't know how much that is, but it doesn't sound like a lot. Okay, but they came with it anyways. Verse 20. "And as for your donkeys which were lost 3 days ago, do not set your mind on them, for they have been found. And for whom is all that is desirable in Israel," he's talking about Saul right now, "is it not for you and for all your father's household?" Verse 21, this is the money verse right here. "And Saul answered and said, Am I not a Benjamite, of the smallest of the tribes of Israel? And my family of the least of all the families of the tribe of Benjamin? Why then do you speak of me in this way?" That's the principle that we're trying to say right here. God's principle is he brings the best from the least. That's how he does it. From the least, he springs forth the best. Like it said in verse 2, that's why I wanted you to focus on verse 2, is because it said he was the tallest and the most handsome of all the people in all of Israel right there, okay? But he was from the least tribe, from the smallest family of the least tribe in the whole area of Israel, okay? And that's why I'm saying that's God's principles. He makes the least the best. And keep this in mind, he makes the best the least, okay? So we got to be careful with certain things, because once you start hitting that pride route and you think you're the best and you don't have to give anymore, you don't have to share anymore, that's when, not only in others people's eyes will you be dropped down, but you will actually physically be dropped down. You will be humbled. And like Bishop said, I was saying, you need to humble yourself or God will humble you. And Bishop corrected me and he said, no, God's already set the path forward. You will humble yourself because of your actions, you will become humbled. And that's where, once he said that, I started realizing, revelation came to me that God sets these options in our way. And the options that we choose will either exalt us or drop us. It's not God going like this and punching you right down, knocking you down. It's ourselves knocking ourselves down. God set us on the higher path, and then he has the lower and the medium path for us. Which path are you going to choose? We want to all choose the highest, right? That didn't sound very convincing. We all want to choose the highest, right? Yeah. Amen. So, with that being said, I think we got Justin Jashura coming up, the giver, the businessman, the tycoon. Let me pop this step for him. There you go, PD.
Thank you, James. Yeah. For those that don't know, I actually played a pretty valid part in Shay becoming James, because Bishop was like, what kind of name is that? And I said, well, let's Google that. Let's see what the meaning of James is, of Shay is. And Shay is the Irish, right? Irish name for James. So just like Abram became Abraham, Shay became James. And there's many more examples. Peter meant the rock. I've got to say Peter's name. Cephas. Yeah, which meant rock also, correct? Cephas became Peter. All right. Anyways, I won't go on that tangent. I'm not super educated there. I just know I played my part. You know what I'm saying? Which you got to do. I'm up here to talk about the men's meeting. Also crack off a little bit of the Genesis, going back to Genesis, to Cain and Abel. And I want to touch on what Shay said a little bit and build off of that just real quick, and then I'm going to get out because Shay just went for a long one. He swung for the fences. I told Bishop, said line drive. I said, but it's gaining. Like when you hit a golf ball sometimes, you hit it and it just starts coming up and up and up and up. And he might have hit the fence. He doesn't know about that. They know about dribblers. Okay. All right, amen. On Friday we had a great meeting. We had a great men's meeting on Friday. We have this thing now with teams bringing food. So it was my team's time to bring the food. I think we did an okay job. But let me just, Bishop said don't make it personal, since Shay kind of threw under the bus a little bit. He said don't make it personal. But I will say, Shay was bragging about a salad he was going to bring, and he brought one he bought from Walmart. We're just going to say that, leave that alone now. I'm done with Shay and his Walmart salad. But it was delicious, I cannot lie. He knew the great salad to pick for all of us to eat. Oh, the smart and final? And then, wait a second. And actually, J2 chopped it up and brought it and did the whole thing. Yeah. Let's give it up for J2. You know what I'm saying? J2, hallelujah. The one thing that Bishop said, and I'm going to pull this all together, at the meeting, was right at the end of the men's meeting. He says, you got to do what you're called to do. It's just such a simple saying. It's one thing that he said, and it was like getting punched in the face for me. He's like, because it just ministered to me and was resonated in me, because that's what I've been saying lately, is I just want to do what God wants to do. What's the use in fighting? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just got to give God what he wants, and he's going to bless you. It's very simple in God. You can keep fighting him, and then he's got the rod and the staff for you. You just keep fighting him, and then you get the rod and the staff. You just keep fighting him, and you're gonna get the rod and the staff. I mean, that's how it is. Like James said, you know, you have a choice. It's very simple. It's, you know, you can self-inflict pain and suffering, or self-inflict honor, glory, blessing. All that's for you. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added unto you. It's all very simple. So you got to do what you're called to do. And then when Shay was talking about giving, and it doesn't always have to be money, another thing we've been taught here is give what you have, you know, give of your gift freely. Your salvation was free. Heaven's free. You got to lay down your life, but heaven is free. You don't have to pay to get into heaven. You know, there's not a tax at the door, just your life. So give what you have freely. Give of your gift freely. All right? So let's turn to Genesis. I brought out the my iPad just so Bishop could see it. Yep, I just wanted to show him. And what's awesome, Bishop, if you tap a verse, we're gonna go to Cain and Abel, chapter 4, and verse 7. Verse 7. We're just gonna go right to it. I'm always talking about the main thing I always focus on, and I've been talking to J2 lately from his arrival home. That's Justin Morales, Shay's brother, James' brother. And we've been having some great fellowship. We worked together yesterday, had some good fellowship, some good fellowship. Quarterbacks, both of them professional quarterbacks, just came back from France, looking to make the NFL run now, do some tryouts, do some combines. You know what I'm saying? We're believing God, and we're pushing hard. And his brother James is right behind him, about to play some ball. His season's coming up, and we all need to support these boys. We all need to support these boys.